Hey everybody, welcome back to the Royal Read. I am so glad you decided to stop by and see what I'm reading on. But before we get started, you know what I got to do because I cannot gatekeep. Why would I gatekeep on the best community on these internet streets? Of course I wouldn't do that because they are terrific. And just being a part of this tribe, I'm telling you, it is the best. And if you want to be a part of it, this is what you need to do. Go down in those settings, look around, find that subscribe button, and go ahead on and subscribe. And while you're in there, hit your notification bell too, so you'll know when I upload or when I just want to pop in. And give me a thumbs up to fight my nemesis, the beast, the algorithm. I I can't even tell y'all. I am dog walking the F out of it. I am. I'm doing the doggone thing. And I could not do it without y'all. Y'all are the best. Also, I want to give a shout out to all the readers who decide to support the channel by watching the commercials. Y'all are doing a great job and I appreciate it so very much. Also, in the corner over here, that's our join button. That's for channel memberships. And if you choose to become a channel member and a part of the reading club, you will be supporting this channel to grow, to improve, and to continue. And I'll be so grateful, so thankful, so over the moon appreciative to have your support. Also, somewhere down there, I used to say in the corner, but it's somewhere down there, is the super thanks button. And if you decide to do a one-time donation to the channel, all donations to the channel will always be greatly appreciated. All right, y'all, I do have some shout outs. I do. And first up is Miss Annette Sweat, who has been with me since the beginning. Always down with the read, always coming through, always in those comments, dropping all that knowledge. I love Annette. She is everything. So thank you, Annette. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being a ride or die. And thank you for being here. It is everything. And then we have Angela May. Yes, Angela came through. Yes, she did. She said, I'm coming through today. And Angela is everything as well. I mean, faithful, ride or die, always showing up for the read. I appreciate it so very much. Angela is everything. So thank you, Angela. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for coming through and thank you for being here. It's everything. And then Ella Gully. Ella is everything. She is a ride or die, always coming through, always supporting, always being down with the read. I'm telling you, Ella is so faithful and she is so wonderful. And I am so lucky to have her. So thank you, Ella. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here. All right, y'all, we gonna play this right here and we'll talk on the other side. Y'all, I want to give another quick shout out to Annette Sweat, to Angela May, to Ella Gully. Y'all are everything. And I want to give y'all a little background on why I always say everything a lot. Because when my mom was alive, I used to tell her all the time, you're everything. Her name was Clara. And I used to say, Clara Austin, you are everything. You are everything. And when I say that with so much love because y'all are everything. I was really down when I started this channel and y'all picked me up. I prayed that God would put people in my way, wonderful people, just extraordinary people, and he did exactly that when he created this community, when we all came together somehow. And so when I say you're everything, it is coming from my heart and with so much love, and I mean it I mean it. I mean it. So these people are everything. And so is all of my subscribers. Y'all are everything. Just know when I say that, it's coming from a place of deep, deep love. All right, y'all. With all that said, let's get to it. Y'all know when I am putting the read together, y'all know what I do. I hit these internet streets, and that's what I've been doing today. I've been on these streets, and let me tell you, the streets are hot. They are. Sometimes the streets get cool and they get slow, but it's really picking up in January. It really is. We got quite a bit to talk about. And it seems that more and more news organizations, ones that I would put more stock in, they are saying that Harry is getting his security back. So we want to talk about what does that mean? What does it mean to Meghan and the kids? What are these rags saying about it? So we're going to talk about that. We are going to talk about how Harry has more impact on the United Kingdom than that family does over there because something has happened. And it's because of Harry. And we're going to talk about that. And we have quite a few other things we're going to talk about. Yes, we're going to talk about how the First Lady of France, what she has recently been able to do, might serve as a blueprint for Meghan. Yes, we're going to talk about that as well. And a lot of other little stuff we're going to talk about. We have a jam-packed podcast, so let's get started. I'm going to put this up. We're going to talk about Harry's security and what's going on there. And I'm going to put this up, but I do want to say this. I said in my last podcast that it was GB News who broke the news that Harry was getting his armed security back. But in actuality, I find out it was the Time, which makes it even more interesting to me because this makes me believe that this whole thing came from Buckingham Palace as a trial balloon, putting it up, seeing what is going to be said, how it will be received. I really think maybe that's what it is because we know the Time is very, very close to Buckingham Palace, meaning that their editor is great friends with the horse. So it all makes sense now that if he is to regain his security, they are just trying to get a feel on what people will say prior to it coming out. But now that I know that the original source was the Times, I'm feeling more encouraged that, yeah, this might be true. He might be regaining his security. But also, it makes me a little apprehensive because then I say to myself, what does this all mean for the Sussexes as a whole? And like this particular article states, and this is the rub for me. It says Prince Harry set to regain armed security in UK, opening door for Prince Archie and Princess Lily to visit King Charles. And I must say, that makes a chill go down my back because Charles is a snake. He is. And this is something that I said in my previous podcast, and that is this right here is playing a major role in the decision because Charles needs the positive PR. He does. That whole family needs it. That whole monarchy needs it. They need to be back in the good graces of the Sussexes, and they need those kids for Charles to play the dutiful grandfather. But am I saying that this is the whole reason why Harry is getting his security back? No, I'm not saying that because we have the Invictus Games. Yes, that's a big reason why I think he's getting his security back. And we have the failed smear campaign. Yes, the blowback has been devastating. It has. So I think that is another reason. along and in conjunction with the need for those kids to absolutely bring some positive PR for Charles. Yes, because like I said, that whole monarchy is circling the drain. And it's not all because of Charles. It's because of Willie. It's because of Kitty. It's because of the horse. People don't like them. They're not interesting. They have too much baggage, as in Charles and his horse. Kitty and Willie are boring. They are, and they're dumb as a rock. And if they had an original idea between the two of them, it would scare them to death. They do nothing but copy Harry and Meghan. And why, oh, why would anybody be interested in a couple who does nothing but copy the original? It's like going to your local dollar store and purchasing an engagement ring for $1 compared to going to Tiffany and getting a real rock. So why in the world would anybody pay attention to Willie and Kitty when they can absolutely pay attention to the real ones, Harry and Meghan? So that is the problem there. So yeah, I really think Harry is going to get his security back, but I don't know how it's going to work out. I don't. But I do believe Harry is a smart cookie. And one thing that really works to Harry's advantage in this whole thing is they always seem to underestimate him and his wife. And that has always worked to Harry and Meghan's advantage. So I am interested to see how all this is going to shake out. But I am really starting to believe that, yeah, he's going to get the security back. And this particular squatty posted this article from the Fail, and it says Prince Harry finally receives good news from Britain, official ruling soon. Sources at the Home Office has indicated that security is now nailed on for Harry. And also it said in here that the only thing that could stop Harry from getting his security would be an intervention from the palace. Now, that's very interesting, isn't it? Because we have been told time and time again that Harry was a liar, especially in that BBC interview when Harry said that he did not want his father to help him get his security, but for him to step out of the way. And let me tell you, Harry was called everything except a child of God by those rags over there, saying that he was lying, that the king and that family had nothing to do with Ravak, that it was all up to Ravak, and that was the reason why Harry's security was pulled in the beginning. That the royal family could not influence Ravak in any way, any form or fashion. But here we are, them telling us in real time and in black and white that yes, yes, they can. I mean, these people, do they ever tell the truth? Because when you tell the truth, you don't have to keep your lies straight. But we all know that those rags over there, they could care less about you catching them in lies. Because then they'll tell another lie to get out of that lie. But I digress. This particular squatty that posted this article said this: Prince Harry's security case was announced as a win by the Daily Mail or the Daily Fail and other UK media outlets and tabloids in an effort to jeopardize the actual outcome. Now, what y'all think about that take? That they are announcing it to whip up opposition in order for that would give the palace leeway to not grant the security. What y'all think? Now that is another take that I hadn't thought about. That this was not leaked in order as a trial balloon, but as a way to deny the security. Very interesting. But it hadn't worked out for them like that, because the majority of the people that I have saw on panels and whatnot are saying that, yeah, this is a good thing. And in the call-ins, yes, it's like 9 to 1 that people are saying that, yeah, he should have the security. So if this was their plan, if this was their plot to do this, it has backfired. I don't think they're going to be able to whip up enough resistance in order to, justify them not granting the security to Harry. And it goes on to say they don't want Harry to have security or cordiality with the royal family. They want the division to stand so they continue to profit. Like I said, good point. Good point. Because I hadn't really looked at this angle. Because we all know what this particular squatter is saying is absolutely true. They profit more when that family is at each other's throats. They love the chaos. They love the rifts. They have something to print in their rags. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But if this was their plan, it has not worked. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this particular angle of looking at this whole security thing. Is it something that they did in order to have time to whip up resistance against Harry getting the security? So Charles coming in and kiboshing the whole thing would not be any blowback against him, and he would not have to give Harry the security. After all, it'll be a win-win for him. He has stepped out of the way, but yet and still the people did not want it. And also, the tabloids, with this particular theory, the tabloids get what they want as well. And that is to keep that family in a chokehold of hating one another, and all the rags get the profit off of all the hate. Or do you think it's a trial balloon that they put it out there so they could see how people were going to react to it? And now they pretty much have reacted positively to it, that now he will be granted the security. Which one you think it is? Two very, very interesting theories. I must say, this particular squatty has really started me to really think about this thing and go, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, but I think either way, it's going to result in Harry getting his security. Y'all tell me what y'all think. And I'm going to put this up, and this is a repost. And the original post a article about Willie and saying he's sickened by just the thought that Harry is to regain his security. And I must say, I'm sickened about this article. I mean, these flying monkeys have no soul, and neither does Willie. I mean, they really think it's okay to put out in the world that one brother is sickened by the other brother's possibility of regaining security for himself and his family. I mean, it's crazy to me. It's mind boggling to me that these people feel that this sort of behavior is okay, and to project it out in the world that your royal family, that this family that sits at the tippy top of society and supposed to serve as an example to the rest of the nation, acts in this manner. I mean, do they not understand what they're putting out to the world and how people are seeing this? But yet and still, here they are. And do I believe Tom Thumbhead Sykes when he says this? I absolutely believe it. Because we all know that Tom Thumbhead Sykes is Willie's go-to. When he cries his cup full of salty tears, this is the guy he go to with that cup of salty tears to write an article. And so it is with everything in me, I believe that this is what has happened. And this is Willie's feelings about the possibility of Harry regaining his security. that Willie feels this way. I cannot with these people. Every time I feel that these people are the most evil they could ever be, they absolutely one up themselves on the evil chart. They do. I can't. The original post from the article from Tom Thumbhead Sykes is titled Prince Harry's Security Win Will Sicken William. It says Harry seems confident he will be getting his security back, meaning he can start planning a new life with a largely beefed up UK presence. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that you have a brother who actually is sickened by the fact that you are to regain your security? I cannot, y'all. I cannot. And the squatty that posted this said, apparently Willie and Kate are sick with worry at the thought of Harry getting his security back because they thought they had banished him into exile. And what reason they wanted to banish Harry into exile? Well, because he married this extraordinary woman. They became this power couple that actually overshadowed them. That's all. They became more popular than them. What a crime. What a crime. Instead of working together and both couples becoming a popular foursome. But no, they couldn't do that. Not Willie, not Kitty, the two sides of the same jealous coin. No, they couldn't do that. And so here they are sickened because Harry may regain his security. How pathetic, how embarrassing, and how deeply, deeply sick it is to have a brother angry with you because you're more charismatic, you're more engaging, you married a better partner, that he's mediocre. I mean, it is sick. It really is. And it goes on and says, this is the stuff of Shakespeare with a jealous and evil heir who fears his charismatic younger brother. Where is the lie? Because it's a fear there, it's an anger there, it is a hatred there. And that right there causes me angst. It really does. Because these people feed into Willie's insecurities about Harry. I'm talking about these flying monkeys. And it is very dangerous. It is. It's dangerous for Harry and his family. And Harry knows this. He has said this time and time again in interviews that these flying monkeys continue to churn this nonsense up. And when you are dealing with a weak minded heir, you have something on your hands, especially when you have all of these crooked courtiers and all of these flying monkeys all out to gain something. And what are they out to gain? Power. And how will they get it? By stoking Willie's insecurities. He is dumb as a rock. And a person who is dumb, surrounded by people who are dumber, and they all want power, that right there is a very, very dangerous combination. And I'm just going to say this. Harry is not the only one that needs to keep his head on a swivel. Charles needs to keep his head on a swivel too, because Willie is a very, very dangerous person. I have said it from the beginning, and he's so stupid. He's dumb. And the reason I say that is because the only person in this world that truly loves him for who he is his brother. And he, in his favorite stupid mind of his, has somehow created this whole narrative that Harry is somehow his mortal enemy. Harry loves Willie to pieces, and he would be there to battle with him. but he's too dumb to understand that. He doesn't get that. He doesn't see how he is being used against his brother. The one thing, the one person that is on his side. And the squatty that reposted this said, "This is Willie's worst nightmare. Despite all the attacks and hate directed at Harry and Meghan, he knows very well that Harry will outshine him no matter what. Anyhow, brace yourself for seeing more reports about Willie's failing projects." Exactly. Exactly. And like I said, it didn't have to be this way. It didn't. Harry loves his brother, but Willie has always been jealous and always has made Harry out to be his enemy. And it's stupid and it's dumb. But this is who he is, and it's no changing it now. He is absolutely cemented into this position, and Harry needs to realize that, and he needs to act accordingly because Willie's dangerous. I am going to read some of the excerpts that this squatty posted from this article from Tom Thumbhead Sykes, and I must say, this flying monkey should be absolutely embarrassed. This family should be embarrassed. The level of maturity that they show in this article is an embarrassment. They sit at the tippy top of society. And this is the behavior in which you show to the world? It is crazy to me, but we're going to read it. And it says sources are now briefing journalists that they believe his police protection will be restored. If this turns out to be true, it changes absolutely everything. This is the fight Harry has spent millions of dollars pursuing, the case he himself described as the most important of all. Why does this matter so much? Because it blows apart what many insiders assume was the establishment's long-term plan for dealing with Harry: exile. It says, without security, Harry's trips back to the UK are complicated and expensive. But if Harry gets his security back, exile is effectively over. He can come and go from the UK as will at no personal cost. He may also regain international protection person status, entitling him to the UK's government security even overseas. Well, we all know why. Because Charles wants Harry back. Why? Because the monarchy is circling the drain. And he is willing to do anything to save the monarchy. And that includes bringing Harry back in from the so-called cold. And Willie is too dumb to understand that. Now, one thing you can say about Charles is that he's not a dummy. He's not. He knows exactly what's going on here. He knows that that family is in deep doo-doo. And it has been ever since the Queen died and Harry and Meghan left. So, yeah, of course, this is exactly what is going to happen. And Willie is going to have to take it. And to me, that right there, when he becomes king, makes him even more dangerous because this man is really sick and he's surrounded by all of these sick people who want power, and they want to try to make out Harry is the enemy. They have tried to separate William and Harry ever since they were kids. This is nothing new. They have been doing this. And Willie has always been too stupid to understand that Harry is his refuge. Harry is his partner. He would be the perfect wingman in order to protect him when he does ascend to the throne, because he would be the only one there who truly loves him. But he's stupid, and I'm not going to get back on that, but he's stupid. And listen to what Tom Thumbhead Sykes says. He says, a victory on security will enable a return, not as a contrite prodigal, but as the head of a parallel court. This is how stupid these people are. Harry does not want a parallel court. I mean, if you have been paying attention, you would already know that. Harry just wants to be happy, to love and be with his family, his wife and his children. That's it. Freedom and peace. That's all Harry wants. That's it. He doesn't want a rival court, but you see what these flying monkeys do? You see why they are so dangerous? Cooking up this nonsense, saying that because Harry gets security, somehow he also established a rival court. I can't with these people. I can't. I mean, it is so idiotic to me. From the outside looking in, these people actually need to be committed on a 72-hour hold. Tom Thumbhead Sykes is a idiot. He is. To write something like this and not realize how dangerous it is crazy to me. When you are dealing with a feeble-minded heir who is poised to ascend to the throne, and you're writing nonsense like this is journalistic malpractice. It should be against the law. This is crazy. And this is how dangerous these people are. I can't. Y'all tell me what y'all think. But for me, this is the reason why I'm very apprehensive about Meghan and the babies going to the UK. Because when you have people with their poison pen writing stuff like this, inciting hatred from Willie, stoking that's very dangerous. I don't care what nobody say. And for me, this is absolutely character assassination. It is. Saying that Harry wants a rival court. That is slanderous. It really is. Harry has never indicated such. I'm just saying. And I'm going to put this up. This is what Harry has always wanted to do. He wanted to be of service. That's it. I mean, the craziness that comes out of those flying monkeys is astonishing to me. This particular squatty posted about what is happening, and as you can see, a film school planned after donation from Harry. Y'all remember when Harry went to Nottingham and he donated to this radio station that these young people are involved in, and he donated a large amount of money. Well, what they're going to do with that money is they're going to build a film school. Yes, this particular squatty wrote about it, and it says, Prince Harry has been supporting Community Recording Studio, CRS, since 2013. The Youth Center reveals plans to open a film school after a substantial donation from Prince Harry. Despite not living in the UK since 2020, Prince Harry has maintained his commitments to UK charities. Where is the lie? Harry loves his home country, and he has no interest in a rival court. He just wants freedom and peace and to be able to serve. It's not that complicated. And if you are a rational mind human being and have sit back and watch what Harry and Meghan has been doing, you already know this. But we all know that the flying monkeys can't profit from that. They have to create chaos. They have to sow their lies, deceit, and their hatred in the fabrics of a wonderful country. It is crazy to me that this nonsense is allowed to go on. But yes, Harry's donation is going to help these people, these young people, create a film school. And just think about it, what this could possibly grow into that Harry has made possible. It could turn into an Academy Award, a BAFTA Award. It's just no telling what a mighty oak might spring from this acorn that Harry has planted. I'm excited. I think it is the best. I do. And this is why I love Harry, because Harry is always doing things like this. I'm excited for this one. I am. And a squatty commenting on that same post said this: "This is why the royal family are forever pressed. Prince Harry, who doesn't claim a penny from taxpayers, is doing more for the British people than the royals paid by the public, doing more for the country he doesn't live in. He's Britain's king, either they like it or not." Exactly. Exactly. He definitely is king of hearts. That's all I can say, because they have thrown everything at Harry. They have done everything to try to just denigrate him and just scandalize his name. But the British people, the majority of the British people, have done nothing but love Harry through it. Yes, they have. And I am eternally grateful for that. I am, because Harry loves his country, and you can clearly say that his country loves him too. At least that's what the barrier poll says, because every time Harry shows up, the barrier poll is absolutely showing that the British public loves their prince. And I want to kind of switch gears a little bit and talk about security, still talk about Harry's security, but how the flying monkeys are really trying to flip the script. If you look at all the articles and different things that are being said, you would think it was Meghan's security instead of Harry's security. This is about Harry's security. Now, when Meghan and the kids are with Harry, of course, they too will be covered by his security. But let's not get it twisted. It's his security. If Meghan wanted to make a individual trip to the United Kingdom, she would not be protected. I mean, but these people, these flying monkeys, have absolutely just, like I said, flipped the script and want to talk about how this security win, if it comes to pass, how it will affect Meghan. It's Meghan, 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 Meghan. And this particular squad is talking about that. And this is what this squatty said. Well, first, I'm going to show you what this squatty posted. And it is an article about Meghan, saying Meghan issued 6-word warning ahead of huge update on Prince Harry's UK security. Why are you talking about Meghan when it's Harry's security? But we all know it's always, eternally, everything is about Meghan. I can't. But this particular squatty posted that and said, "What in the hell is Jenny Bond on? What the F is wrong with her? I hope Meghan never does that. Mothers never let your children go or go alone without you to a place or step into a house where people who hate you, people who have treated you poorly, live, even if they, meaning, are the royal family." Now, what they're talking about in this article, Jenny Bond is running off at the mouth, saying that if Harry gets his security, Meghan shouldn't come. She shouldn't come to the United Kingdom. She should just let Harry bring the children. Yes, this is what this woman is saying. Meghan should let Harry bring his children by himself, not as a family, by himself, to see the king. This is straight up insanity to me. Why would Meghan do that? Why? But I can tell you why they want Meghan to do that. They want Meghan to do that because she would be out of the way. They really think that they still have the old Harry. You know, the old Harry that'll do anything to please. The old Harry that they have scapegoated for years and years and years, and they have the ability to manipulate him. And what do they want? They want the kids. They want those children. They want to be able to be free to make as much money off of those kids on this particular visit. Yeah, so they want Meghan out of the way. And this is nothing new. Y'all remember when the whole Sandrium summit came about. They absolutely didn't want Meghan anywhere near Sandrium. Why? Because they know Meghan is a smart cookie and she sniffs out the BS when it comes to that family. So they didn't want Meghan anywhere near it. And they really thought they could manipulate Harry with her being away. They really did. But Harry stood firm in Sandrium. They met the new Harry, the Harry that loved his wife and his baby. But I digress on that point. So I think this is coming from the same place. They know Meghan can sniff out the BS like she did about the security. Let's not forget that. Meghan sniffed that out too. In Spare, Harry said Meghan told him, "Do you think they might take your security away?" Harry said, "No, no, 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 they'll never do that." But Meghan was sniffing out the bullshites right then. So they don't want Meghan anywhere near on this so-called trip that they have dreamed up in their fevered minds. They want to be able to have free will when it comes to those children. They know those children are gold. They are. And they want them. They do. Charles does too. He wants them to save him. So yeah. No. We see you, Jenny. We see you. And you best believe Meghan sees you. So I'm not worried about this in any form or fashion. Y'all tell me what y'all think, but I'm not worried because one thing about Meghan, she can sniff out the bullshit. I'm just saying. This post says Prince Harry set to regain armed security back in Britain. The British media, Meghan, Meghan, Meghan. Exactly. I mean, article after article talking about what this means for Meghan and how Meghan needs to come back to Britain and how she needs to be humbled. I mean, it's ridiculous. And it goes on and says, it gets to the point where British journalists have lost their minds. Meghan is living her life happily, and these half-wits can't keep her name out of their mouths. What the actual F? Exactly. I cannot tell you how many articles I have seen that talks nothing but about Meghan when it comes to Harry's security. It is crazy. Meghan has absolutely driven these people to be certifiable. It is the funniest thing. I hope Meghan can see the humor in this because it is hilarious. These people cannot keep her name out of their mouths. They are obsessed. They are. And this squatty says, even if Harry's security is reinstated, it'll never control Meghan's actions. You predicted public hostility and think she needs to eat humble pie as if her support for her husband need trolls' approval. She'll do it her way. Meg owes no one performance, submission, or appeasement. Where is the lie? They want to try to humble her. They know that Meghan is better than Kitty, and they want her humbled. They want her to bow in front of Kitty. Why would Meghan bow before someone she know is more mediocre than her? If I was Meghan, I would never give them that. That's what Kitty wants. That's what Willie wants. They will consider that as a win. Well, they wouldn't get it from me. I would never set foot over there when they became king and queen dumb as a rock. They really want that. They do. And they can't stand the fact that she never bows or breaks. I'm just saying. Y'all tell me what y'all think. But yeah, I think they want to try to humble Meghan. And they see this security as a way that they feel she should come back with her tail between her legs. They have wanted that since the beginning. How many times have we heard that? Meghan said, no tail between the legs. Here, I come back with my back straight and my head up like the true queen that I am, because Meghan is descendant from kings and queens. She is. Yeah, she comes from a people who has never given up, that has never been broken, that has never bowed. And I don't understand why they think that's going to happen this time. Meghan will never do it. I'm just saying. And I'm going to put this up. This was in People. It says Buckingham Palace defends royal family as royal helicopter mileage sparked scrutiny. And it seemed to me by the picture they're trying to pin this on Anne. And we all know that that's not where the miles are coming from, is Anne. Because if Anne is on the helicopter, Anne is off doing an engagement. Now, you can't say she works as hard as a regular person, but for a royal, she is one of the most hardworking. So, of course, she is going to clock the miles on the helicopter. Justified? Well, that's up for the scrutiny of the British public and the British taxpayer. Not my business. But we're going to deal in some facts here. And it's not the problem. We know who the problem is. I'm just saying. And I'm going to put this up. This squatty reposted that article from People and said this. So the two royals who used the helicopter the most were Anne and William. You can understand Anne because she visits locations all over the UK and she does multiple events in one day. What in the HE double hockey sticks is William's excuse? He barely works, barely travels to remote areas of the UK, and never does multiple events in one day. What the HE double hockey sticks is he using the hello for? Exactly. He uses it like a car. He probably going to the grocery store in the helicopter. No, I'm just kidding about that. But he's using it. And this is the environmental warrior using a helicopter this much. I cannot. All I can say is surprise, surprise. Willie is an environmental hypocrite. Yes, he's performative. He is just all about the front facing, him and his mannequin wife. Who is surprised? Who is surprised? Not me. Not me. This man is such a hypocrite, an environmental hypocrite at that. A phony baloney. But we all knew that. He is performative at best, him and his mannequin wife. So, no surprise here. No surprise here. And this squatty posted about this and posted a new article, and they're talking about this article that was in the Telegraph talking about how much they are using these helicopters. And this article, the title is Royals Fly Equivalent of Twice Around the World in Helicopters. Not once around the world, twice around the world. And this is in a 1 year period. I cannot. What a freaking hypocrite Willie is. It says Telegraph analysis show the two choppers notched up a total of 420 hours of flying time. And I'm willing to bet you that Willie did about 75% of that. And we all know it's not because he's working, because he only did 202 engagements last year. How embarrassing for Willie. Yes, the Earth Flop founder. Mm. What a hypocrite. I'm just saying. And the squatty that posted this said, what's interesting about this is that Prince William does the least amount of work, but flies the royal helicopter the most while telling people to eat seaweed to save the environment. I remember when Queen Lizzie was tired of his SHIT. Y'all remember that? The Queen had told him to stop flying like that. But you know what? I also remember that the Queen bought him that helicopter. Yes, while he was flying it around. At the same time, her beloved grandson was walking around with holes in his shoes with his daddy's belt on, living in a shack. So Queen Lizzie, she make my jaws tight when I think about stuff like that. Yeah, she was very liking in a lot of areas, but I digress. So yes, this is nothing new. Willie been pulling this kind of SHIT for a while. And this squatty said, Earthshot hypocrite Uber helicopter Willie. What's his excuse as he carries out less royal duties than Anne and Charles? Exactly. He is absolutely ranked number 7, and the Duke of Gloucester is ranked number 6. I mean, all of these elderly people have clocked more engagements than Willie. But yet and still, he's around there, flying around, probably right now in the skies of the UK, just absolutely burning a hole in the atmosphere and the pockets of the UK taxpayers. And this squatty posted this. They said Prince William Windsor went to Liverpool by train, but the royal helicopter also went to Liverpool. Its next stop was Windsor, and it landed next to William's home. Yes, they posted where they tracked the helicopter, that it flew up to Liverpool and then picked him up after he got off the train, after he had did his performative environmental act, and he got on his helicopter and flew back home. Yes, never thinking people would find it suspicious that he went to Liverpool on a train, but they're supposed to expect he never came back. How do he think they're going to figure out if he came back or not? Because he had to. Of course, he took a helicopter that had flew up there. Yes, he is so performative, so fake. I mean, he doesn't have a soul, this one doesn't. But this particular squatter that posted this said, Prince William is the type of environmentalist that takes a train to an event, but then has a helicopter fly empty, follow him, and take him home afterwards. Yes, yes, he is just that type. Performative. And this particular squatty posted that same article about them logging enough miles to circle the earth twice. This squatty said after Kate's fake cancer, their care for the environment is the biggest hoax and scam. 2 new Royal helicopters that came into service earlier this year have already flown a total of 58,000 miles, the equivalent of traveling twice around the earth. And these are new helicopters. Yes, I cannot, y'all. Tell me what y'all think of this, but are you surprised? I would think not. Willie is a fake, a phony, and a liar. He really is. He doesn't care anything about the environment. It is just something that he can use in order to just gaslight the public into believing that he actually has a moral compass, because he really doesn't. He just puts on busy work to absolutely pretend like he is doing something. All right, y'all. I'm gonna put this up. I'm gonna change gears a little bit, and this is a repost. And the original post says, "Young people love Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. Royal reporters don't, but they do in a toxic way." And what they're talking about is that this person, I don't know if they're a YouTuber or who they were, but it was posted on YouTube, and they were talking to young Brits about Prince Harry and Meghan and asking them if they would want Prince Harry and Meghan to return. And every one of them was saying, yes, why not? Except one who said she would not want them to return because of the environment of, how things are, but and because they're living their best life and they're happy, that's the reason, not because she would not want them to return. So yes, the young people are still firmly in Harry's corner and in Meghan's corner. And this squatty that posted this said, "This is what the demented royal family, derangers, and British tabloids don't want you to see. Their hate campaign against Harry and Meghan has only won them more support, especially from young people." Exactly. Exactly. And that is the reason why Charles is slowly making this turn, because he knows they have failed, and they have failed miserably when it comes to that smear campaign. And lastly, I want to talk about this. This is about the First Lady of France and what she has been up to. And what she has been up to is snatching the wigs off of all these trolls on these internet streets. Yes, Brigitte has not been playing with these trolls. She hadn't, and I love it. This is what CNN says about this story. It says 10 people found guilty of cyber harassment of France's First Lady Brigitte Macron for spreading false claims she is a transgender woman. Yes, Brigitte is not having it anymore. And I love this. And this squatty that posted this said, "Good. Now I want Meghan and Harry's team to look into some of these most deluded online trolls on all social media platforms." Y'all know I've been saying this forever. Choose one. Just choose one and soothe them into oblivion. Just choose one. And like I said, it's different when they're having just common conversations or maybe about an article or something like that, giving their opinion. But when they start really spreading lies, I mean vicious lies like they did with Brigitte saying that she was transgender, that is where you absolutely have to nip it in the bud. We know some horrible, just horrendous lies have been told on Meghan. It that Megan Mole, that's the one. Ooh, I just saw something on one of the squatties YouTube channel, and he was talking about how this troll Megan Mole has absolutely said some most vicious things about Megan, including making accusations that Megan somehow has hurt children. Yeah, so that's a little far. It is, some of them just go too far, and we all know the oldies and not so good ones about when Megan was pregnant. So yes, find one, Megan, just one. Soothe the brakes off of them, and the rest will fall back. They'll fall back. All right, y'all, I'm gonna put this last one up, and it looks like Willie had a Christmas ornament this Christmas season. He did, and it was 40 pounds. Look at this thing. It looks downright spooky. It does. They should have it for Halloween instead of Christmas, because that right there scare the bejesus out of anybody, including small kids and animals. But I digress. Yes, it was 40 pounds, and they had to put it on clearance for £1 in order to get rid of it. They did get rid of it. As you can see, it's sold out. But this squatty said Prince William went into clearance. Yes, it had to, because who would spend $40 for that? That is some kind of ugly. Now, what kind of ugly, I don't know, but some kind. And this squatty said, I bet they can't give that one away. That thing is atrocious. It is. It is very much atrocious. All right, y'all. I will see y'all next time. Bye.